In chapter 2, C++ programming basic, we will see that how to create a basic C++ program, how to take input, how to print, how to declare variables, how to take input on those variables, what are the types of variable, what are some parameters like manipulators like setw, okay, and then we'll summarize the whole chapter 2. So let's get started. So the chapter 2, okay, the first thing we will see that how to write a basic C++ program. So this is a basic C++ program. I have already copied into the code blocks. So let me switch to the code blocks. So I think you can already see this, right? So in this C++ program, this is just what it does. It actually runs. Let me cut this one out. So what it does, it basically, it shows whatever you write in between these two lines. Okay. Now, if I run the code, you'll see the output that every age has a language of its own. So basically whatever I have written here is printed here. So this is basically the printf, but the syntax is different. Instead of writing printf, we write console output. Cout is basically means console output. Okay, so it's in short, it's written cout. And then second part is that endl. What does endl means? Endl is basically the equivalent of new line. So if you give endl, it will actually start a new line or end a line. Then you have the return 0. So you know from C programming, return 0 means end of the program. Okay, and integer main is basically where our main function starts. So up to this we are same, but these two are different. Okay, these two directive are different. So first of all, what is this one? Include iostream. So this is a header file, same as C. In the C we used to have like stdio.h, stdio.h, standard input output .h means header file. But in case of C++, we have include iostream. Iostream means input output stream. So this is the first thing you need in every program. And then using namespace std. So we will talk what is namespace. So basically this is a standard naming condition that we use in our program. So like if you write this name using namespace std, each of these tokens that you have here actually have a meaning. So what is a token? They are basically the small part of the program that the compiler can understand. So like if I write integer main, the compiler understands that, okay, from here my main program start. If I write return 0, the compiler understand that, okay, this is where I have to end my program. So if I write returns, will it work? The answer is no. Why not? Instead of return, if I write returns, will it work? The answer is no. Why not? Because the compiler only knows return 0 as the syntax for ending the program. Okay, so you see the return is a word, or I can say a token that is recognized by the compiler. Same way, if I write console output, it will show something as a print. Okay, it will show, but if I write console output is, will it work? The answer is no. So because console output is recognized, but this one is not recognized, or this command is not given. Same way, if I want to print something, we use this double. So if I use one, it will not work. So every part of the code, okay, the semicolon here, okay, the endl, the integer main, the brackets, they have a meaning. And this using namespace std is, that's where this all comes in. Okay, so let's go back to our book. So before that, so in C++, if you want to print something, you have to use console output. So here is another printf. So like you see, if I add another printf, it will also print 2 lines. So see, you see every age has a language of its own, and run sport run, she said. Now what is so this is the first thing that we know about our C++ program. So now we know how to print something using, the answer is console output. And how to give a new line? The answer is, to give a new line you have to have endl, or you can also use the \n that we used in C programming. Now let's go back to the book. So this is a basic program construction. Go through this part. Okay, I'm underlining this. Now next is functions. So we already know what is a function. It basically a block of code or set of instructions that we use. And why we use function? To make our code more easier, more efficient, okay, more manageable. So we already know what is function. Okay, what are the advantages of function? So just go through the basic, and whenever we're declaring a name of the function, okay, it has to be unique. There are some rules we need to follow. Okay, so we have started this rules in the C. So I'm not going through the rules again, but I will tell you one more thing, that in the function, uh, if you're using a name, just use alphabetical names. In that case, you don't have to worry about anything. Okay, if I want to add two numbers, let's just use add the name as a name of the function, and it will be easier for you to remember. And then what we will study from function, that how to actually pass arguments. Okay, we know that function actually hold arguments. You can value pass to the function and so on. So we'll study details of the function in chapter 5. For now, let's just focus this 3 point. Function is a block of code that actually makes our program more manageable, more efficient. We use functions in C and C++ everywhere. That difference between C and C++ in function is, in C we use function only for making our code efficient and so on, these features, but in C++ we also use function for taking inputs as well. Okay, and third point is the naming of the function has to be distinguishable, that means unique, otherwise there will be some overlapping problems. And lastly, we can also use function to actually hold arguments. We can pass values to the function. So rest of the details we'll study in chapter 5. Now, main all our, just like C programming, C++ always starts with the main program. So whatever you write in this main program will where my program will execute. Okay. Now this is a basic structure of a C++ program. So this is our main function. Okay, that's where the program starts. Then it starts calling different function. So in the main calls, like if we have an object, and in the object we have like member functions, member variable, it calls those. If we have a other functions, we also calls those, and it goes on like this. Okay, but again it starts from main, and then main does the all other operations. Now this is the second example is white space. So what white space, basically that whenever we give breaks or spaces or tabs, okay, unnecessarily, these are called white space. Now the advantage of C++ that actually handles white space very efficiently. uh, Let me show you a code. Yeah, I have already showed in the last class. So like if I this is the same code. Okay, let me remove this line. So this code and this code are basically same, but what is the difference here? Okay, you see I have written using namespace std was given in one line, but what I did, I made it 3 lines here. Same goes for this. You see the pattern is broken everywhere. Okay, so now the answer return 0 is also broken into 2 pairs. So every time we have a white space, we have actually broken the line. So the question is, will it work? The answer is yes. If you run the program, it works perfectly. That means C++ actually ignores the white spaces. But when it will not work, so if I give a space between int, okay, and then try to run the program, it will not work. So if you have a space, you can add different lines, the program will still work.